Set in the 1980s, in the small town of Miami, Arizona, Kingdom of Night is an enjoyable isometric RPG. Blending occult horror with 80s aesthetic and a hack-and-slash RPG with a rich story, it's easy to see how Kingdom of Night separates itself from others in the genre. Assuming the role of a renameable high school teenager named John, you awaken in detention before being told about a party happening later that night. Being the slightly awkward outcast you are, you fail to ask your crush out and end up spending the night home alone when all hell breaks loose. Literally. Your crush is kidnapped by a winged demon, and the town is besieged by all manner of creatures and monsters. Armed with melee or magic, you set off into the chaos to save whomever you can as you battle your way through endless hordes and uncover the truth of what is happening in the small, quiet town of Miami. Kingdom of Night's class system and level progression feels heavily inspired by early Dungeons & Dragons, which fits perfectly into its setting. Choosing between melee or magic will lead you down a leveling path that houses 5 classes: Barbarian, Knight, and Rogue on the melee side, and Necromancer or Sorcerer on the magic side. If you're a fan of our podcast, I'm sure you've already guessed that I went the path of the Barbarian. Something about playing a character literally too angry to die, and gets stronger the more you bleed is always enjoyable to me personally. At level 10, you also get to choose one of 3 specializations to further tune your playstyle and enhance your experience. With a total of 20 levels, much like Dungeons & Dragons, this system fits perfectly into the world of Kingdom of Night. I was somehow able to break the leveling system and achieve level 21, though I didn't benefit from this level in any manner. Loot, on the other hand, had me scratching my head a bit. Like any ARPG, you're destined to turn into a loot goblin carrying around a pack that's overflowing with gear and weapons. Unlike other ARPGs that see multiple different slots for gear such as gloves, hat, chest, weapon, etc., Kingdom of Night has 1 weapon slot and only 3 slots for what they call, quote, accessories. You can unlock the ability to have a 4th after finding a particular NPC and completing their side quest, but that's over halfway through the game. With a pile of loot the size of a dragon's hoard, it took me a while to dial in the right accessory combo to fit my playstyle. As you explore the zones that make up Miami, you'll also come across numerous side quests that are hit or miss. Things get a bit fetch questy only a few hours into the game, and some of the quest directions in your journal, as well as the map markers themselves, aren't the best at clearing up the confusion on where to go and what to do. One particular quest that I ultimately ended up ignoring was to bring food to a giant demon frog in the sewers and feed him for some reason. I'm not quite sure what that quest would have gotten me if I completed it, but the journal entry didn't really help clear up the confusion on exactly what he wanted or how to obtain it. This was just one of the few experiences that nearly led me to quit the game, but as I pushed through this dip in the narrative and kept going, Kingdom of Night quickly grabbed my attention once again. From getting stuck on rocks, trees, and bushes while exploring each map, to a targeting system that feels clunky, melee combat that gets dull quick, and controls that aren't as responsive as I'd like, Kingdom of Night is not without its challenges. That said, if you're willing to stick it out, you'll be rewarded with a rich story about the battle between light and dark, with some twists and turns along the way that really help Kingdom of Night stand out among its peers. Overall, Kingdom of Night is a fun game with a rich story let down only slightly by some minor issues, many of which are things that could and hopefully will be patched out if they haven't already. Much like Pale Coins, a game we recently reviewed, Kingdom of Night has also recently been Steam Deck verified, making it a great addition to gamers on the go. With its small file size and great controller support, it's one I'd highly recommend throwing on your deck. Additionally, there's also local co-op in Kingdom of Night, which I didn't get to experience but would love to someday play. For an incredibly reasonable price of only $20, I highly recommend picking up Kingdom of Night if you're a fan of ARPGs and 80s nostalgia. Thanks to the developer, Friends of Safety, and their PR team for a review code. Don't forget to subscribe for more news and reviews, and if you like our content, tell a friend. Thanks for checking out our review of Kingdom of Night. We'll see you next time, Coin Droppers.